Welcome, dear viewers, to Wise Pages. Have you ever felt your heart race before an exam, an interview, or any important moment? Many people believe their greatest obstacles come from the outside world, the difficult circumstances, the tough questions, the judgmental audience. But the reality is that the real battle is always fought within our own minds. In his book 10-Minute Toughness, renowned sports psychologist Jason Selk reveals something crucial. Mental toughness is not some inborn talent that only a lucky few possess. It is a skill, a craft that can be honed and sharpened with just a few minutes of daily practice. Today, we are going to explore 5 powerful principles from this book that will help you perform at your best even under intense pressure. Principle 1: Calm your body first. Whenever we face a high-stakes situation, an exam, an interview, a presentation, or a life-altering decision, we often think the problem lies out there. But the first reaction happens right here, inside our own bodies. Our brains operate on a protection system that is millions of years old. Its fundamental job is to keep us safe from threats. The problem? Our brain often cannot distinguish between a genuine physical threat and the mere feeling of fear. Whether a lion is charging at you or you are about to step onto a stage to give a speech, your brain triggers the same alarm. The moment this alarm sounds, your body enters the classic fight or flight mode. Your heart pounds faster to pump more blood. Your breathing becomes rapid to increase oxygen flow. Your muscles tense up, and your mind begins to race with dozens of anxious thoughts. These changes are incredibly useful if you have to physically fight or run away. But in our modern world, most challenges are not like that. You cannot run from the exam questions, you cannot flee from the interview room, and you cannot escape the stage and still call it a success. In these moments, you need to send your body a clear message: the situation is safe. I am in control. For this purpose, the book introduces a simple but highly effective technique known as the 6-2 breathing. Here's how it works: you breathe in slowly for 6 seconds, you hold your breath for 2 seconds, and then you exhale very gently and completely for 7 seconds. This may seem like a trivial act, but the real magic lies in that long exhale. When you exhale slowly and completely, you send a powerful signal to your nervous system that the danger has passed. As a result, your heart rate begins to slow down, the tension in your muscles starts to melt away, and your brain becomes capable of thinking clearly and rationally again. Think about it. When a person feels relaxed, they let out a long breath. When a person is exhausted, they sigh deeply. Even when a great burden is lifted from our shoulders, we instinctively exhale a long ha. The common thread in all these situations is a long, extended exhale. So, the next time you find yourself feeling pressured, frightened, or anxious, do not try to fight your thoughts immediately. First, calm your body. Because when your body is calm, your mind makes better decisions. Often, the beginning of outstanding performance is simply one correct breath. Principle 2: Focus on the process, not the outcome. Most people, when faced with an important task, shift all their attention to the result. The student thinks, I have to get the top grade. The athlete thinks, I have to win. The business person thinks, I have to close this deal. On the surface, this seems like logical thinking. But it creates a significant problem: the outcome is always in the future, while performance can only happen in the present moment. When your mind is constantly fixated on the future result, it begins to obsess over things that haven't even happened yet. What if I fail? What if people judge me? What if I make a mistake? Gradually, our attention is diverted from the actual work to a world of fear and anxiety. This is exactly why many people, despite having excellent preparation, fail to deliver their best performance. In his book, Jason Selk introduces a crucial principle called performance statements. This means giving your mind clear, precise instructions not about the result you want, but about the next action you need to take. For instance, if a student is going to take an exam, Instead of saying, I need to get 95%, they should say, I need to read each question carefully. I will not rush. I will solve one question at a time. Similarly, if someone is about to give a presentation, they should not think about whether the audience will be impressed. Instead, they should say, I will speak clearly. I will make eye contact with the audience. I will stay focused on my message. The difference seems small, but the effect is enormous. The brain prefers clear instructions over big, vague dreams. Consider this: if you simply tell a driver to get to the destination quickly, it is not a complete instruction. But if you guide them with the entire route, the journey becomes much easier. Our brain works the same way. When we only think about success, the brain stays confused. But when we show it the very next step, it directs all its energy toward that task. This is why mentally tough people do not chase outcomes. They focus on taking the right next step. They ask themselves one simple question: what is in my control right now? And then they pour all their energy into that. The most interesting part is that when you focus on the process, the outcome often takes care of itself. Because now your focus is not on fear, but on performance. And that is the moment when pressure decreases, confidence increases, and performance begins to peak. Principle 3: Show your mind a movie of success. Many of us believe that our confidence is built only through real-life experiences. But the reality is that our brains are influenced not just by what we do, but by what we repeatedly picture in our minds. If a person constantly thinks about their mistakes, failures, and fears, their brain begins to consider these things as important. It starts looking for threats in every new situation. However, if we deliberately show our minds images of success, preparation, and positive experiences, the brain begins to operate differently. This is why Jason Selk teaches a powerful exercise in his book called the mental movie or highlight reel. In this exercise, you take just a few minutes each day to run 3 different scenes in your mind. First, recall your past successes. Remember a time in your life when you did something well. It doesn't have to be a monumental achievement. Perhaps you scored well on a difficult exam. Perhaps you faced a fear. Perhaps you completed a task that seemed impossible. The important thing is not the size of the success, but that it was real. Try to relive that moment. Remember how you felt at that time. What was the expression on your face? What kind of confidence did you feel inside? The purpose of this is to remind your mind that you have faced challenges before and you have succeeded. Often, our brains remember failures but forget our victories. Second, mentally rehearse today's important task. Now, bring your focus to the task that matters to you today. It could be an exam, an interview, a presentation, a meeting, or any other challenge. Visualize yourself performing this task with confidence and calm. See yourself working with complete attention. You are not rushing. You are calm. You are taking one step at a time. This is not just daydreaming, it's mental practice. Just as athletes practice their performance in their minds before stepping onto the field, you are preparing your brain. When the mind has already visited a situation multiple times in its imagination, it finds it less unfamiliar and less intimidating. Third, feel the joy of your larger goal. Now, think about the bigger goal you want to achieve in the future. But don't just picture the success, try to feel the emotions attached to it. Ask yourself, when this goal is accomplished, how will I feel? Will I feel proud? Will I feel at peace? Will I feel more confident? According to the book, people are not actually chasing things, they are chasing the feelings those things provide. Therefore, it is essential to feel the positive emotions that will come after your success. These 3 parts together create a powerful mental workout. The first part reminds you that you have been successful before. The second part prepares you for today's challenge. The third part reminds you why you are doing all of this. When you practice this for just a few minutes daily, your mind gradually starts paying less attention to fear and doubt, and more attention to confidence, preparation, and opportunities. This is the very foundation of mental strength. Principle 4, spend your time on solutions, not problems. Difficulties come to everyone in life. There is no person who has never faced failure, disappointment, or unexpected problems. However, there is a crucial difference between mentally tough people and average people. Average people tend to obsess over the problem. They ask, "Why did this happen to me?" Or "What would have happened if this hadn't occurred?" While mentally tough people, after understanding the problem, quickly shift their focus to the next step. This is why Jason Selk teaches a simple rule: whenever you face a difficulty, ask yourself, what is one small action I can take right now to make the situation better? This step doesn't have to be huge. It could be making a phone call, sending an email, making a decision, or simply starting the first phase of the work. Because the moment we begin to take action, we stop feeling helpless. The message of the book is not to ignore your problems. Instead, it's about moving forward toward a solution rather than getting stuck in the problem. Ultimately, our lives change not through complaints but through that one correct, small step forward. Principle 5, create a new identity. Often, people do not live according to their abilities but according to the story they have created about themselves. If a person repeatedly tells themselves, "I am not disciplined. My focus is weak. I leave things incomplete," these phrases gradually become a part of their identity. Then their mind begins to search for evidence that proves these statements true. This is why Jason Selk says if you want to change your life, you must change not just your habits but also your identity. However, there is an important point here: simply making big claims isn't enough. Telling yourself "I am highly successful" or "I am extraordinary" doesn't offer much benefit. Instead, tie your new identity to a clear action. For example, say, "I am a person who learns for 20 minutes every day." Or, "I am a person who keeps their promises." Or, "I am a person who faces difficult tasks rather than running from them." When you repeat these actions daily, you provide your mind with proof that this new identity is actually real. Over time, your actions become your new identity. This is the crucial lesson from this book: lasting change doesn't come just from setting new goals, but from seeing yourself as a new person and then acting according to that identity every single day. The most important lesson from this book is that mental strength is not forged in one big, dramatic decision. It is built through small, consistent daily practices: controlling your breath, focusing on the next action, engaging in mental rehearsal, seeking solutions, and strengthening your identity. If you dedicate just a few minutes each day to applying these principles, you will gradually notice your confidence, focus, and overall performance begin to improve. If you enjoyed this summary, please make sure to subscribe to this channel. Here at Wise Pages, we bring you the world's best books and most powerful ideas in a clear, accessible way. If you liked the video, hit that like button, share it with your friends, and let us know in the comments which of these 5 principles you will start practicing first. Your likes and subscriptions truly help us create more high-quality summaries like this one. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video with a new book and a new powerful idea. Until next time, take care.